G'day guys. Might be a little while before I get a chance to complete the full tutorial video for turning devices on and off through CommandFusion iViewer. So I thought I'd just do a very quick example of how you can achieve this for yourself. So you guys can start having the complete experience of not only having your dashboard updated, but also directly controlling DomotiGa devices. So what we're going to do today is put some controls on these lights. So light on, light off. We're going to use our dimmer here as well, and we're also going to set this as a stateful switch so that when that light is lit, if you press that button, it will turn the lights off. If it's not lit, i.e. the lights are currently off, and you press the button, it will turn the lights on. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is to download some JavaScript from the DomotiGa CF iViewer wiki. So let's go there. Click on example CF JavaScript and interfaces, and that should take you down to this code. Now, you've seen this code before. That's the code that's in your main.js at the moment, basic JavaScript. And the bit that we're going to add is this, some basic code for turning on and off a light. So select the code that's there. Okay, copy all that code. And then let's go back and have a look at the folder that we've got our main.js from tutorial 2 in, and let's open this in Notepad. And so here's the code that we had from our first tutorial. Very simply updates the status, and let's paste in that new JavaScript code that we downloaded. You can have a read of it. I've got some commentary in there, but essentially there's two new functions. One that sends a command to DomotiGa based on the current button state. That is if the button's on, then it will send the off command. If the button's off, it'll send the on command. And the second one is the actual function that sends a command to DomotiGa json-rpc interface, and that's here. You'll need to change the IP address here of your interface in DomotiGa. At the moment, my IP address for my DomotiGa system is 13. No doubt yours will be different, but that's the only change that you need to make. So just change that IP address, save that. Now go back into your DomotiGa system and let's put some commands in. The commands are also listed up on the wiki, so I won't spend too much time explaining those. Just grab the on command for the device from the wiki, and we paste that into our JavaScript field here. So basically what this does is it calls this function in our main.js JavaScript, and it sends to it this JSON-rpc command. You can find out more about the available JSON-rpc commands by looking at the DomotiGa wiki. There's full description of all of the commands there. In my case, device 41 is my light, and I'm sending it the on value, which will turn that light on. Let's go into the off button, paste the same one, and change that to send off to turn the light off. Now that's functional. You can run that now and click that button. It'll turn the light on and that'll turn the light off. But let's also set up this slider. Now to do sliders, you need to set up a command over here with add command. So the command name, you can call it anything you like. Let's call it light slider, and the command value is the slider val. That's the so it'll use the value of this slider in sending the command. The command here is very similar to the last one, with the exception that we've actually got some logic in here. Just expand that out. that takes our current value of the slider. Actually, that should be square brackets around slider val, not curly. So that takes the current value of the slider value and appends it as part of, or includes it as part of the JSON string. So for dimmers you need to send dim and then the value. So this will send dim and it'll take the value of this slider between 0 and 100, put that inside this string and then call the same command as it did for lights off and lights on. And then you need to click on JavaScript sends command value. And the last thing we need to do is to assign the action to the slider so as that when I use it, it will now use the command that we defined earlier called light slider. So that's that one done. Now we want to set up this light. Very similar again to the previous 3 examples, but in this case we're actually going to call a different function. So you can look up the function in the on the wiki, and in your main.js that you just pasted in. But essentially what this function does, if I can get it to paste, there we go, is 2 things. One, it sends a command to DomotiGa. First of all, it calls a function called send command to DomotiGa by button state, and it makes a decision in the logic as to whether or not it sends the on command, which is here, or the off command, which is here, based on the current value of the join for the button that has this function defined. So it'll send, effectively it'll send digital2 through to the JavaScript function. It'll have a look at what the current value of digital2 is, whether it's on or off, and it'll make a decision as to whether it sends the on command or the off command. Okay, done. So let's fire up the upload service and see how those things work. Sorry, I had the debugger running there. Okay, so here we have our updated system. Everything's working as per the previous one. You can see down here that the lights power is 0. So if I turn from this side lights on with this button, you see our lights come on, lights off. Obviously they go off. I can also set it with this dimmer to a certain value as well. You'll see the power go up for the lights down here. Sorry, lights power. And I can also use this button, which is a stateful button, to turn it on, or sorry, off if it's on, and on if it's off. Also, I can, of course, update it or use my normal wall switch, and it all updates in real time. So there you go. Now you have a complete control system for DomotiGa.